Hello there. All right. So here I'm just getting started. Today is the first day for the 100-day project. This is kind of scary, but exciting. So this is pretty good. Okay. So let me see here. I have this page that I got started on with my hello there. Hi Greg, hi Michelle. I have this page that I just kind of started doodling on. I like to do this as a little intro to my project. And so I just kind of doodled this. In past years, I had like an entire book, an entire journal that I set aside just for my 100-day project. And so this would probably be the cover, but this time I'm kind of using one that's already got a few things in it. So this is what I'm going to do today. Good afternoon. Hi there. Hi, hello. Sunday, a nice calm Sunday, hopefully. Very nice. Hello there. Hello, everyone. So I'm going to do my best to keep an eye on the chat, but I also want to kind of move things along a little quicker than I usually do, just because I feel like I spend too much time talking sometimes. So what I'm going to do today is, again, I'll keep an eye on everything. Hello, Marcia. Hello, everybody. Today I've got my book here, and this is a watercolor page. I'm going to flip this over just because the book's kind of long. So I'm going to flip it over. We're going to be working upside down again. So hopefully that doesn't throw anybody off. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Joanne. Hi, everybody. So I'm kind of just flipping this over. This is watercolor paper. And my supplies today, I'm going to try to keep it a little thin. I'm actually using watercolor. I can't believe that. It's going to be a little weird, but I'm going to do my best. Hello, Patricia. Hi. From Florida, it's raining over there. It's supposed to rain here today as well, so we'll see how that goes today. The weather's a little funky here today. So I've got a few tubes of watercolor. I don't really play with these too often, but we'll see what happens today. I've got a couple of brushes and some water. And so all I'm really going to do is I'm going to start just by kind of setting up some of that on my page. I think I'm going to do with a wet page, so I'm going to get that wet first. Let me start with that. So let me grab the slightly larger brush that I have. Hopefully that will get me started here. So I might get a little bit of staining from what I have here. I might not. I'm going to see right now. So that's kind of all I'm doing, is I'm just starting with some water. Cleta's asking what size are the pages. The page itself is 6 inches by 6 inches. So it's not too big. So exactly 6 inch. And then I think the actual square that I'm drawing in is much smaller. It might be less than 5 inches by 5 inches. I'm wondering if I should try using my little spray bottle, but I think I'm getting enough water on here. It's just so it's a little damp, that's all. And it looks like at least I did remember to use the waterproof ink this time, so we'll see how this goes. Yeah, you're welcome, of course. DB says, hello friends. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm probably going to make a lot of mistakes along the way, and I want to be able to embrace that. So if any of you have more experience with watercolor, please help me out. I'm happy to learn stuff. So I'm seriously just going to go straight in here. I just want to see how it feels. And so there we go. There's a little bit of that color. I'm not going to be too delicate or dainty. I'm just tapping some of the pigment on the page, and I'm going to see what happens with it. This will be interesting. I know I should just be able to drag it around, and since it is a little wet, it'll mix up. Ooh, it's pretty vibrant right now. That's going to be interesting. I'm probably going to remove some of it. Where's my little thing here? It looks pretty though, doesn't it? Just because I feel like there's a chance I may have put too much pigment on here. Who knows? We'll see what happens. This is a little bit of exploration. So I'm just adding more water onto my brush, and because I feel like that's going to drag it out a little more, it's going to pull it. And I want to have a little bit of a gradient here. So my water's playing a big role. And also I'm keeping my fingers crossed that my paper actually can handle this. Hopefully. Making a little bit of a mess. That's nice. And in a second, I'll probably be using my my heat gun. I'll have to get the gun. I think I'm going to add a little bit more of another color in a sec too, because I do have 3 of them here. I seem to be a bit focused on kind of this pink and blue combination. I'm really liking it a lot. Let's see here. I'm just trying to kind of spread out this color over here a little bit better. Might be nice. Okay, I think I like that. I'm going to keep that. No problemo. Let's see how this blue-green turns out. I've been trying to get a nice blue-green, and they always turn out bluer than greener, so we'll see how it turns out this time. I'm just going to do a tiny dab right here. Huh. I'm trying to go for a tiny dab. There we go. That should do it. And I'm just going to try to spread it around and see what happens. Oh, hi, Tamara. Sarah's here. Michelle. Hello, everyone. I spread out a little bit of this blue. If you're better at watercolor than me, that's awesome. I'm barely getting started, so I'm just playing around. So please don't be afraid. If you're thinking you don't know how to do this, neither do I. I'm just doing my best. I know that some people have mentioned that they're afraid of using so much water. Yeah, I'm afraid too. It's been kind of like this slow progress for me to really try to use more water, more wet stuff. Yeah, it's definitely a process. Michelle, finally catching a live at the beginning. Yeah, I'm pretty much going to stick to the schedule. I posted the schedule. If any of you didn't see it, I did post the hours. I posted the times. So you should be able to see that if you check my posts. Michelle just asked, have you ever worked with oil pastels? I think I may have a long time ago, but no time recently. That might be fun. I'm going to use the heat gun for a second. Hopefully this doesn't blast your ears out. I'm going to turn down my mic for just a second. Tamara said, just started working on the cinnamon roll designs. You're laughing at yourself. Is it because it's a cinnamon roll? Or how's it turning out? It's always fun. Like, you gotta make sure to make fun of yourself sometimes, for sure. Michelle says, you're a snowbird from Minnesota. Tuning in from Tennessee. Oh, you're everywhere, aren't you? So there we go. I kind of blasted it with a little bit of heat. I think I might need to do it again. So I'm gonna, still a little damp. I know that my pens won't work too well if this is too damp, so I think I'm going to give it another little round. So again, here we go. More heat. So Tamara said you're not sure you're getting the lines right. Hey, sometimes it's going to take practice. We can add a little bit of that in here if you want us to get more practice with that one. You can throw one in here just for kicks. I think this is finally dry enough. I'm glad I have that heat gun. It really helps kind of get things going much quickly. Much faster. Hello, Jasmine. Hi there. Just getting started. I just did a little bit of watercolor here and just kind of spread it out. It looks a little messy now, but we'll see what we can make out of this. We'll make something nice out of it for sure. Hello there. Hi, everyone. Deshi, hello. Virginia, yeah. Hi there. So by request, we're going to do a cinnamon roll real quick. How about that? Just a quick one, just to get it out of the way, right? So I'm going to zoom in just really quick. Yeah. So Cleta said sometimes if you turn your page and put the heat on the other side. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Let me see how it looks. No, it looks good. The paper's handling it. Yeah, you're right. Sometimes kind of go from the other side. I've done that with a few other things. That's a good idea. I'm going to just make sure that everything looks good right now. And then I'm going to go in with my pen. And I am making sure that my pens right now are waterproof. They're water resistant at least. Nothing is waterproof, but at least resistant. I'm going to get a fairly large one. This is a 0.8. Just because I'm working with a lot of wet stuff, I don't want my lines to kind of get messed up. So by request, we're going to get a little, actually a fairly large cinnamon roll in here just because it's a good one to practice. So I like to start, I'm essentially going to work with a circle. So I'll show you. I'm just going to use my pencil. I'm going to make this kind of oval here. You can always do this if you need to. That's where I'm going to put it. Well, if you don't know what a cinnamon roll is. If you don't know what a cinnamon roll is, that's what I refer to as this sort of spiral shape. And then we're going to draw some contour lines inside of it to make it look more dimensional. So using this oval that we just created, I'm just going to trace it right now because that's fine. I can do that. I can just trace the oval. If you ever want to set it up for yourself this way, this is fine. So here's the oval. We're going to draw a spiral inside of here. So I'm just going to start about here. This is fine. And I'll do a spiral, and what I want you to notice is that this zone is bigger. Actually, I shouldn't say it that way. The thickness that I'm creating here is going to be smaller, and as I get towards the inside, it'll be wider. Hopefully that makes sense, but I'll try it. I'll show you, because I know sometimes it's harder to define with words. So I just continued the spiral just a little longer. So the attempt, at least, was that these inner regions are fatter. We could call it that. This is fatter. And as you get towards the outside, it kind of gets thinner, thinner, thinner. That's what we're trying to shoot for. It makes it look nicer. And so these are the contour lines we're going to do inside of that cinnamon roll. I like to start here at the end. I'm going to switch to a slightly smaller liner. There we go. Just because I like to use a smaller one here. Okay. So when I work in there, I like to start here. And so I'm making like a belly. So like this nice curvy U shape. I think the way we decided on this once during a video a long time ago was I'm trying to make it like a pregnant belly, like really, really wide, and so that it really hugs the edge of the lines there. That's what we're going for. That makes it look the nicest. Sometimes you might kind of not be paying attention, and you might end up making a line that looks just like a D, like this. That works okay, but I think for me, I like it better when it's just like super curvy, like really fat lines like that. Makes it look like a pregnant belly. You can go back and forth, you can go in one direction, whichever. Sometimes I go back and forth. So that's what I'm going to do here for a second. I'm going to switch my camera just because it kind of distracts me a little bit. Give me just a second. And this way, hopefully, I'll be a little bit less distracted. I know I tend to look up at the screen a little more. So here we go. And I'll just focus on just making lines for now. So here they are. Curvy, curvy, nice and curvy. Doing my best to let those lines hug around the outer edges. That's pretty much what I'm trying to do here. Trisha said it's your first time watching. Hello. I'm hoping some of you are able to draw along. You've got your paper, you've got your notebooks, your sketchbooks. You can draw along. Yeah, try to remember nothing is right or wrong. Yeah, Marcia. That's right. It's all depending on what you're kind of going for at the moment. What mood are you in? What do you want at the time? That's true. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's right. So Babs is asking if this is 100% cotton watercolor paper. I don't believe this is. No, it's not 100% cotton. No, this is 90 pound. It might be hot pressed. I think this is I'm not sure. I can check though later in case that's important. This one is not 140 pound. No, this is 90 pound paper. That's just a question about what kind of paper I'm using. And DV, you only use Arches. Yeah, that's really good paper. Yep. For in my world, that's a bit. It costs more, I think. I may be wrong, but I haven't bought Arches paper, although I hear it's good stuff. For a lot of things for me. Hello everyone. Those of you who are joining, we just kind of got started. Started doing one of our cinnamon rolls, just adding all these little curves in. At least my perspective on art supplies is I don't want to be too specific about like a brand or anything like that, at least not yet. Because I think I just don't have a reason yet to be specific about watercolor paper. Maybe someday I will be. I think that so far the paper I've used has done a good enough job. So I'm good with that. Someday. So you can see as I'm kind of just working my way around, I'm trying to continue to keep those curves the way that I have them. Just doing my best. And as I work around this curve, this is the hardest part. Is just trying to make sure that the curves move. There we go. Just kind of hitting those last few here. That's not bad. That's pretty good. That works. Yeah, Bab says Arches is excellent paper. Yeah, I might try it someday. I think because I'm just playing around, I'm not worried about getting like the best paper, but I'll try it someday. Yeah, just for watercolor. Yeah. Okay. I think somebody asked a question a moment ago. Let's see. Oh, what's the goal for the 100-day project? Deshi asked. I think the goal for me is using color because I mostly draw in just black lines. So it's color is one of my goals. And I think if I had to add another goal, something I'm kind of inadvertently doing is probably just getting more comfortable live streaming. I think that's what I'm trying to do right now. That may be it. Guess I could add that to the list. But yes, definitely I'm trying to add color. I enjoy it and then I kind of am afraid of doing it. So I'm just adding this darker line here around the edge just to separate it. I'm going to do a design that I know some of you love and some of you might be afraid of. We'll find out right now. I'm going to do some, what should I call them? I know I tend to call them ribbons. So I'll show you what I'm going to do here. So these are my ribbons. They're going to be either complicated for you if you've never done them before. So all I'm going to do is out here, I'm going to draw this kind of curvy line and it's going to go in one direction and then it's going to kind of U-turn and head back, U-turn and the back. And I'm just going to kind of draw this squiggle line that's going to go like that. And it's going to kind of go over itself a couple times. Let's see, maybe I'll stop here. So it kind of went down and up, down and up. I'm just turning it so you can see the other way. So this is what I do when I do ribbons. It's kind of like to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, like that. So I allowed it to make a couple of turns. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a few bars heading down towards the center of my cinnamon roll. So I'm going to use that as my vanishing point. So I'll show you with the pencil. So here's the line heading that way from this edge right here. Here's an edge, there's a line, an edge, here's a line. So with all of my edges, I'm drawing a line heading down there. So these are it. That's just the pencil work. I'm going to come in with the pen and I'm going to do some light work. If you want to, you can just trace that if you're doing something like that. Hi, Andrew. If you want to, you can just trace this. You're fine doing that. No worries. I'm going to add just a little bit more something to it. So here's my edge one. I'm going to go up and over that one. Because of the way this one connects, I just need to go down here. Then my next one's here. And I go to the left and down. My next one's here, so I'm going to go over. And it looks like this one just stops here. So I'm just kind of paying attention to the way things overlap. Again, if this is a little difficult for you, just go ahead and trace the pencil lines. So up and over. If you're ready for a challenge, try this. Give this a try. So that was up and over. I'm having a hard time focusing, so I'm really sorry if this guy is... There we go, that's a little better. For some reason my camera was having a hard time focusing for a second there. So up and over, and looks like I've got one more, so I'm going to go up and to the left, and now I'm going to close it off. So these are what I call my ribbons. That's what I call them. I believe I'm going to make a couple more. I'm going to rotate this a little bit. So Cleta asked, is the watercolor paper hard on my pens? So far it hasn't been. So far my pens are fine on this paper that I'm using again. This paper does just fine. I'm going to close up my tube because I forgot to close it. But I'm going to make another one of these ribbons here. Where's my pencil? Here we go. Let's try making another one. So I'm going to do it here. Let's do it here. Dashi, you like the colors? Yeah, it's mostly pink, isn't it? But just a little bit of that bluish color over here. It should be nice. So I'm going to add another ribbon. Let's see. Let's try doing this. I'm going to go to the right. And then U-turn. Come to the left. It's going to look pretty similar to that other one, I'm guessing. And then left, right, left. Why not? Let's go one more time. That's a lot. So I'm going to use all this. Use the center of my cinnamon roll here, and that's where I'm going to draw my lines. So I'm going to start here. I'm just going to do them one at a time. That's all right. This one, these are going to kind of overlap. They're going to get real close right there. If you're drawing this doesn't have to be a straight line. It could be slightly curved, whatever. It's just kind of giving the impression. So there we go. This is what it looks like so far. I can work with that. Okay, so I'm going to start, I think for this one I'll start on the left again, so I'm going to go up and over. So because of the way this connects, because this is in the back, I'm going to let this go down. Then this one's in the front, so over and down. Looks like this next one's in the front, so I'm just going to go here, across, and then stop. The next one goes up and to the left, and I stop. And then this one's next, up and right. Looks like the rest are pretty self-explanatory. It should go up and to the left, and I stop. Up and to the right, and then I just close it off. So I've got, I think these two should be enough for me. I think I'm okay with that amount. And that way I can just add another design in a couple minutes. So what I'm going to do before I forget, I want to add some... I'm going to add some lines here. So in this drawing right now, it's still looking pretty flat. There isn't too much going on. You can see the design sort of, but what's really going to bring it to life is when I do some line work here to really kind of make it pop. So I'm going to do that right now. Let me see, maybe I should zoom in a little so you can really see the line work here. I'm doing a lot of rotating, a lot of spinning. How about... Let's do this one first. Just trying to make sure it's in the screen. There we go. Maybe I can erase a little bit of this. I don't need this pencil. This one always takes me a long time just because it requires a lot of mental focus. But it's pretty good. I really enjoy it. So this will be nice. So here we have it. And I'm going to start about back here and just start making little lines. So these are like little hatch marks, anything like that, just so that we're going to start making it a little dark there. So it's going to get dark. So from the bottom heading up. And I'm also doing my best to kind of taper off those lines so they look thinner as I kind of flick the pen. And Darth says, me like it. Me likes it. Yeah, me likey, huh? It's fun doing this stuff. You'll be amazed at what kind of stuff you can create if you just kind of play around. So I'm going to do that along this whole line right here. Dash, dash, dash. They're like little eyelashes. At least that's what I'm trying to do. They might not always look that way, but I'm going to do my best. They're going to be lots of little eyelashes. So like that. So I just went along that edge there. I can always add more later if I feel like I need more. So I'm just going to just jump in here. everywhere where I have one of these lines here that kind of goes sideways, so essentially the tops, I'm going to make a little shadow behind it. Let's do a big one here in the front. Here, starting at the bottom, just flicking up. And if you do this kind of thing on some of your drawings and you're wondering why it doesn't look as good as you want, it might be because you're making all your lines exactly the same. I've seen other people send me drawings and ask, like, why doesn't it look right? It's often because you need to make these lines kind of varied in height. Notice how it's like short, tall, that kind of thing. That always helps. If that's what you're going for, of course. It's all good. I just find that I like it a lot when they're varying in lengths. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Little, tall, little, tall, little, tall. That usually does it well enough. I can always use something else to add more shading in there, but I think today I'm going to not try to do that. I'm just going to stick with the pens. Just sticking with the pens. Let's see here. So there we go. There's all those little dashes, little eyelashes dashes. I know, Darth said nails are pretty. I have a purple obsession. My whole life, purple obsession. This is kind of like a soft, it's almost bordering on pink, but it's close enough for me. If it shimmers and shines. These longer lines are harder though. If you're wondering if you're trying something like this is harder to do. I'm trying to make sure that it's darker towards the bottom and then just light towards the top. This does take practice. If you're having a hard time, just know it might take some practice. Don't beat yourself up if it doesn't look the way you like. Just keep trying it out. Okay, so there are those little dashes. It's pretty good. It's a good start. Let's do the other one real quick. Okay, so did some rotating. There we go. Lots of little dashes. Dash, dash. I have done a video recently, maybe about a month ago, where I did show how to do this with the pencil. So if you prefer sorry, if you prefer using pencils to do the shading, I did a video on that, so you can go looking through my videos, you can find that. This time I'm doing it with a pen. Dash, dash, dash. Okay, so there's that part. I'm going to do the one in the front here. Dash, dash, dash. I think of these as little eyelashes. At least when I'm doing them. So many eyelashes. There we go. That looks cute. It is adding depth, so that's essentially what we're trying to do. Yeah, so Tamara's saying if we could all get together with our webcams. Yeah, that would be something we could do. Kind of like on Zoom, so everyone's screens could show. Yeah. So I'm just adding more of my little lashes here. There we go. Eyelash, 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 eyelash. When I take my time doing this, I kind of make it a little thicker and I add more, but I think right now I'm just trying to get it done. Still looks good though. I think this looks all right. Oh, Tamara, you're on Discord. For some reason, I just, Discord has never appealed to me. I know a lot of people like it. It feels like it's just a whole nother thing. It'd be interesting to try something like that out. Ah, finally done. Okay. So here's all of this guy. Let me see if I can get zoomed back out. That's what we've got so far on our upside down page. So this looks pretty good. Yeah, Michelle was mentioning Discord as well, yeah. DB said as a kid coloring while our teacher read to us was the best. Yeah. You know, I'd love to do that. Can you guys give me some feedback on that? I was wondering if I could ever try like storytelling while drawing. Would that be something enjoyable? I'd love to do that. That would be so much fun to tell a story while drawing or doodling along. It would be enjoyable for me as well. So I don't know. You guys tell me. What do you guys think? Tamara said you can get zoomed. Don't have a problem. Yeah. So this is where we're at right now. I'm trying to decide what I want to fill in here. I've got a little more space. Well, a lot more space. We've been at this for half an hour. We've made a good progress in half an hour, haven't we? Good stuff. I'm going to darken this area just because I know it'll probably get darkened anyway. This way I kind of give myself a moment to think. So I'm just going to add some black here. So as I'm thinking, what kind of designs might look okay around this? I think I'm just going to take this area in the corner here and just kind of doodle a little bit there. I'm just going to add straight lines. That's always an option. Just straight lines. So I'm going to do that real quick. There we go. Line, 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 line. So just some straight vertical lines. So around this, let's see. Michelle said, okay, you like listening to you and your thoughts? Yeah. And DB said, do it. That might be fun. We might try it one of these days because, as you guys know, this is the 100-day project. So for 100 days, I'm going to be here and I might run out of things to say. Might have one of those days. Let's see here. So what do I want to add here? I think I'm just going to add like these kind of woven, like interwoven shapes. That's kind of what I'm feeling here, at least in this area. Hi, Zen Mama. Hi there. Yeah, we're just drawing along. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to draw these interwoven things. I know that there's a... I'm going to try doing this the Zentangle way. I think that might be fun. Let me see if I remember how to do this. You guys can tell me which tangle this is because I probably don't remember what it's called. So let's see if you guys know. So I'm going to zoom in just a bit. And I think the Zentangle way to do this kind of pattern is to draw these circles, a grid of circles, of little dots. So by grid I mean that they're almost going to go as if they were like crisscrossing. So here's a kind of a rhombus or a square, and then I'm just going to continue that grid pattern out here. And then in here. Those of you who are educated in the Zentangle ways, okay, if you can remind me when you figure it out which tangle this is. I would super appreciate that. And so I'm going to continue that grid over here, and here, and here. I believe that's how they do it. I believe. Haven't done it in a while, but this will be fun. So I'm drawing the grid. I think I'm going to do more grid here. I get the feeling I'm going to fill in quite a bit of this. Maybe here. I think that's a good start. That's enough grid for me right now. So I'm going to use this grid to create these kind of woven shapes. So the way I would like to start is I'm just going to pick this one here. Draw this curve here. And this curve here. So like that. And then next to it, it's going to be the same curves, but rotated. 90 degrees or so. So instead it's this curve here, and this curve here. And we're just going to keep doing that. We're going to keep alternating Laura says cadent? Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. If anyone can confirm, anyone who knows. And then back to this one here. There we go. And then we're just going to keep alternating. So up here it needs to go this way now. The bellies go this way and this way. So notice how it looks like they're kind of going in and out of each other, weaving. So we're just going to keep doing that. So here, since I'm going to the side, I'm going to switch the other direction and go this way, like that. And this way. So it's like it's kind of pinching inwards. And then over here it's going to pinch, but the other direction. This way. And this way. And I'm just going to continue alternating. So here, this way. I'm kind of going to pretend there's another dot here somewhere, like that. Here. Just going to pretend around the edges to do my best. That's pretty good right there. Oh, Huggins, that sounds familiar. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Call it the basket weave. Yeah, it is a basket weave. Whatever it is you'd like to call it. I know that for Zentangle there are names for a lot of things, and I respect that. I don't remember them because my mind is full of math and other art, so it's kind of hard for me to remember. But it's nice. It's a nice pattern. I liked it from the moment I saw it, so I remember how to do it at least. So you'll notice it's just nice alternating. It's a very fun pattern. I'm going to come over to the... Actually, let me finish this side. I think I could use a little more here. I could use a little more. Why not? Yeah, Huggins sounds very familiar. I think that's probably what it is. Very, very good. And then I think I'm just going to finish this stuff on the left side. I've got a couple more dots here to work with. This way, this way. This way, this way. Just kind of flipping it. Whoever figured this one out did a good job with it, because creating that little grid of dots really kind of releases you from having to worry about putting everything in the perfect place. Those dots guide where everything goes, and it's just so neat visually just what it does. So again, I'm just alternating each time, trying to fill in over here so it looks about right. I've got these two here. Which way? There we go. That looks pretty nice. I think I'm just going to close off whichever ones look like they're still kind of open. I'm going to close them off. So like, let's say this one here, give it an edge, just because I like to do that. You don't have to close them off. It looks cool if they're just kind of fading into the void. I'm going to close this one here. And I think this one needs an edge. That looks pretty cool. Let me add something here. I might add more. I'm not sure yet, but I think this is cool. You save the video so you can go back and practice them. Yeah, practice is good. It's good stuff. So this looks all right. Now I know there's a way to shade these. You can use the pencil. I don't want to use a pencil right now. Why don't I want to use a pencil? I don't know. We could use a pencil. We could use lines on the pen. I think I'm going to try using the pen because I don't do it very often. So I'm going to get a little closer so we can see what's happening. Let's see if I can accomplish this. This is a 0.2. Whenever I'm using the pen to do shading, I try to use a smaller one. So I'm going to go down to a 0.1, slightly smaller. Let's see if I can make this happen. So if I do that, I'm going to make little lines kind of where it bulges here. Let's see if I can. And again, there are these kind of little dashes. Some are longer, some are shorter. That's all I'm going to do. I'll do my best. Little dash, slightly bigger dash. Little dash, little dash, little dash. That's what I'm going to do. I know that there are some people who draw some gorgeous designs inside of there. Super gorgeous. You can totally do that. Add little swirls and shapes in there, little hearts or circles, whatever. That should look really good. I'm just going to draw more of my little eyelashes today to imply there's a bit of a shadow there. That's what I'm hoping for. I think so far it's all right. It's working. I think it's doing what I want it to do. Little dashes, dashes. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to kind of go through and do all my little dashes. I think it helps, yeah, without having to go too crazy with getting more tools out, just using the pen. Dash, dash. Depending on how it goes as well, I might get some other colors and just kind of accent things a little. We'll see. I am attempting to do my best to finish this while we're here together. I don't want to have to add to it more because, again, this is going to be 100 days. And the idea is that I'm kind of pushing myself to get things done and to just move on to the next one. That's what I'm trying to do here. Maybe I could color some of these with just add a little bit of color with markers or something. That might be nice. Add all these little dashes. Eyelash dashes. Hopefully I'm not making you dizzy as I'm kind of rotating. Just turning it. I wish I could just leave it in place, but no, I have to. I have to rotate. Gotta turn it. So one thing that I know I am going to have to figure out right now is I want to create a shadow between the ribbons and this, what did you call it? Like Huggins or Cadence? Cadent? I want to create a shadow between them, so I might have to figure out how I want to do that. Because right now they're almost kind of blending together here. There isn't much distinction between them. And I do want to maintain my position as Queen of Shadows, so I must figure out where to put these shadows. Just a sec. As soon as I'm done with these little guys here. Dash, dash, dash. These pens are doing okay, actually. I'm glad. Not too bad. I know that I had seen for many years other people who use watercolor, and I remember trying it. What is it that happened? Was it a couple of years ago? I remember playing with watercolors, but they must have been something different. They must have been like the kids' watercolors. I thought it should have been fine. And then for some reason, when I would try to draw over it like this, using a pen, it would like dry out my pen really badly. I think that's why I just didn't want to use watercolors after that. Maybe that was why. These are more like adult or kind of, what would you call them, serious business watercolor, so maybe that's why they're behaving differently. Just trying to figure it out. Why did I stay away from watercolors? This is kind of fun. It was nice adding just a splash of color there. So Tamara suggested, could you put some shadow on the design that looks like paper you did to separate the two designs? Like paper. Could you explain more? What do you mean by the design? Oh, you mean the ribbons? Yeah, actually, that's what I was just mentioning. Yes. Yeah, I need to add a shadow. I need to add something in there to separate them. I am the Queen of Shadows. For sure. I'll do that in a sec. Yeah, if they blend together, they don't look as nice. So what should I use? Do I want to stick with an ink wash? I'm gonna try a wash. Let's go in there real quick. Yeah. Okay, I zoomed down a little bit. Let's give this a try. So I've got my ink wash. This is a few drops of ink mixed with water. It should be a light gray, but I should test it just in case this is the wrong one. Okay, this is gonna add a light gray. I'm gonna rotate just so that I can work on the right side. There we go. Okay. So let's do a bit of a shadow here. Hopefully this doesn't... Okay, that's not bad. So this is an ink wash. You could do this with a pencil as well, of course. You got something else, use what you've got. I'm just gently kind of adding gray to make it look a little darker here. And I am going to go all the way around. Just all the way around. So that's the first part. Let me try flicking it so that it kind of spreads it a little better. It might turn out too dark, but I'm willing to take the risk right now. Ooh, this is really flowing. Super flowing. So I'm trying not to fear this because I know that an ink wash, generally when it dries softer than how it looks right now. Right now it looks super dark. But it should certainly soften up a bit. And we'll see how that looks in just a sec. I do have a gun. I will use the gun. Okay, that took care of it a little bit. And so notice I ended up with this really obvious line right here. And I'm not going to worry about that. I can actually do something about that in a bit when I come back here. So I'm going to not worry about that. I can use like a white pencil or something to kind of bring back the definition in that area. So if that happens to you, try not to be scared. Most of these things can be kind of dealt with. I wouldn't even say fixing. There's no need to fix stuff. They can be dealt with or worked with. We can do that. No problem. So there I just added some dark to separate things. I think that helped a bit. Some of that will need to dry, and I will continue doing my little dashes here while I kind of let that dry a little longer. I think that's what I'm going to do right now. Nice. Just going to finish up my little dashes here. Very nice. Laura said that you recognized the pattern as soon as you saw it with the dot grid. Yeah. It's a nice one. It's a nice little pattern. Yeah. So Cass says you have a similar issue. Oh, so the paint ends up coating the pen nib. I think that's what happened to me. Yeah. I wonder if it just has to do with the type of watercolor paint or something, right? Maybe it has something to do with that. Yeah. You said you tried to fix it with a towel. Yeah. I remember trying to do that too. Or if you, Cass is saying if you draw too hard, you could ruin the nib. Yeah. There's a lot of things that could be happening. I know at the time, I try not to be too hard on my pens. Maybe I'm just like a little bit hard, but it shouldn't have been enough to cause the problem. I think, at least in my case, it may have had something to do with the watercolors. Maybe. Because I felt like they were very chalky. Because they were like for kids or something like that, you know. Hello there. Hi. If you just joined, here we are. We might actually almost be finishing up this drawing. We might be done soon. Sticking to the schedule today. Some of my dashes are coming out funky. That's okay. Just trying to have fun. Okay. Dash, dash, dash. Okay, so what did Cass say? Not sure if it's just watercolor. You use the damp towel method for gouache and acrylics as well. It helps. Yeah. You know what? I mean, now that I think about it, now that you mention it, I use that too. I like to keep a damp, at least a paper towel or a cloth or something, and that helps. It's really nice. So it is a good method. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on. Gotta figure it out. At least for me, in this situation, the pens and the watercolor that's underneath here, this kind of pinkish color, they're working together just fine. So, who knows? I guess I've got the proper combination this time. Whereas at the time I didn't. Interesting stuff. Maybe we'll figure it out one day. So we've got that pattern. I wanted to add something over here, and I guess I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to be a simple girl right now and just go with one of my favorites. My simplest, favoritist. I'm looking for the 0.5. I'm going to draw, and I know you guys, I know some people have told me that there's a name for this. When you draw a circle and put a dot inside, I always think of it like the suckers on the tentacle of an octopus. When you make a bunch of them, they look really neat. I've heard some people say there's a name for that. I don't know what it is also. I'm thinking I might need to start maybe putting a note card up with some of the names of these popular patterns. Sometimes this kind of looks like corals. Just like little organic kind of critters. That's what I'm thinking about when I draw the circles with that little hole inside. So that's what I'm adding right here. Let me get in there a little closer. We'll need to do a little bit more shading over here too, but that should be easy enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this solidly with all those little circles. You're waiting for shadows from the Shadow Queen? Oh, they're going to happen. I think that's how I'm going to finish things off here, is by adding all the shadows. More depth. That's going to be the top off. I think that's what's going to happen here. So I'm going to just fill this in. I'm going to kind of scribble in here just because I want this area to look pretty dark. Scribble. Scribbling is a method used by a lot of artists. So it's just kind of squiggle, squiggle, squiggle right here. Okay, so there's a scribble zone right there. And so for these little circle guys, I think I want to let them kind of float out here. So I'm going to draw some floaters like this. They're just going to wander away a little bit. Just little wanderers. It's definitely different once there's color involved. A lot of different things happen for me, so I'm trying to figure out what's changing here for me. It's interesting though, I like it. It's very interesting. Got some wanderers there. I think I'm going to spread some throughout over here. Little guys. It's nice enough. I like it when it looks like they're just kind of floating away like that. Little floaties. I think I'm going to add just a couple more here. Why not? Little floaty guys. I think that looks cute. Okay. So I've got those guys here. Frog spawn. That is what it looks like. Thank you for that. Oh my goodness. That is so cute. Yeah, Solitude said it looks like frog spawn. Little frog eggs. That is adorable. I love that. Let's put more frog spawn on the other side. So again, circle with a dot inside. Oh, now you're making me think things. If I drew these in like a dark green or a different colors, definitely look like frog spawn. I'm gonna draw a bunch more here and let the pattern get kind of smaller and tighter as it goes toward the edge there. Circle with a dot inside. so. And then I think I'm just going to let some of them kind of start floating off here. Little wanderers. Where they go? Just floating away. Okay. I think I like that. Let's do some shadows. Let's make some stuff dark. We can do that. I'm going to play around with that ink wash again real quick and hopefully try not to mess those lines up. I'm going to try to fix a little bit of this weird kind of hard line that happened here. I'm going to use my white. This is the charcoal white. It's just what is it called again? Just a white charcoal pencil. That's all that it is. So if you have anything that's white, if you have white ink, if I had the time, I'd just bust out the white ink. I might still do that, but we'll see. So I'm using the white to kind of soften that. I'm just not happy with that kind of harsh, very obvious, far too obvious kind of harsh line there. Just going to try to soften it a bit. Just adding a bit of a light color. I suppose I could just find like a color and paint there as well. That's also an option. I could paint over it somehow. This time I'm just going to use the white to kind of soften it. Should be good enough this time. Helps a little. That helped a little bit. Just a little. I'm going to do it here too. Again, because I'm just playing around, I'm not worried about kind of what's happening here. Just playing. I think that softened it a little. Not entirely, but it helps. I'm going to try to add some white to the tops here. White. So this is white charcoal. I think next time I'll try to use white ink to add some of my white bits. I keep wanting to use it during the lives and then I just never get around to it. So here I'm going to add white just to the top. It's super subtle, so it's hard to see. Yeah, it doesn't show too much. I think next time I'll use white ink for it to be more obvious. Okay. So let's add some darkness. Let's do some dark. I'm trying to prep this thing since it kind of juices out so much. This is a juicy one. Let's add a little bit here. Try to be more delicate this time. And so on my little die here, yeah, Patricia, the General's white charcoal pencil. Thank you so much. My words sometimes don't function. I'm glad I have an extension here and you guys can remember stuff for me a little better. Thank you. Tammy from Florida. Hello. You have trouble with the eyelashes. Ah, yeah, practice. A little bit of practice can go a long way. Just be patient. Be patient with yourself. So I'm adding shadows. Just I'm trying to be kind of subtle here in the little, just along the edge of these curves. Just the edges. That's what I'm trying to do. Again, you've got your pencil, you've got your whatever it is you want to use that. You don't have to use an ink wash like I am. No worries, you can do this with all sorts of things. Regular pencil. If you have a gray pen, that might work. I'm just going to go around, like over here. Let's pick this spot. Around the outer edges of some of these objects. So here, just adding some gray. Make it nice and dark, like right here. Nice deep shadows. If you had like a colored pencil in a nice alternate color, maybe some purple, some blue, something like that, you can make some shadows here. That would be nice. Very nice. I'm just trying to hold the pen a little better because I know when I was doing those lines earlier, that's why it got kind of sloppy. There we go. And they are pretty subtle. I'm wondering if it's interacting with the watercolor underneath. I am wondering. It might be. I don't know. I suppose I could also just use like a gray or black watercolor and actually do like some some of that right here. I could do that. That would be cool. I am a noob at this. I'm very new. So I'm just kind of mixing and matching different things. That's kind of what I'm doing. For sure. Ooh. Darkness. I'm going to add a little more here. Anywhere where it seems like things are overlapping. Judy, you have zebra brush midliners in the light gray. Oh, I think I might have one of those. Yeah, those are very nice. Yeah, in a light gray, and it really helps you kind of get in there really gently and start adding these tones. Yep, exactly. That's a good one. I know that a couple of the sets I got recently came with a light gray pen, and it was wonderful. Very wonderful. So here's what I'm doing right now. I'm just using my pen to kind of gently just add some gray. Doing my best to kind of flick the brush so that it's got a little more of a gradient. I'm going to stay away from this area just because I did some stuff there already. Where else should there be a shadow? About here? Here-ish? A little bit of a shadow. Dab, dab, dab. Do not be afraid to play with your supplies. Don't be afraid. Play with the stuff you've got. Whatever you got. So this is what I've got so far. Let's see what it. Let's keep it in one spot so that we can see where it's at. We're just about done here. I think that looks pretty interesting. I wish there were more color here on this guy here. Some of that blue kind of vanished, didn't it? It ended up hiding. I'm gonna see. I think I have a blue that I can use really quickly that kind of matches here. I got some of these Tombow markers a long time ago too, so I think I should use them. And so what I'm going to try to do just really quickly with this marker is I'm going to try to use it to reestablish some of that blue again, just to see if it can help give me that back. And I think that's going to be it for today. So I'm going to test it, see how if it's flowing. Yeah, it's making color. It's doing things. So let's see if I can make this happen, because I know that people use these like watercolor as well. So I'm going to maybe around the inside. Let's try that. I just want to get some of that color back because it kind of vanished when I did some of the line work here. Just a little bit, I hope. Okay, it's giving me some of that blue back. That's good. I like that. And I am kind of overlapping it with the spot where I had that shadow, so. And I'm being kind of messy. I'm not trying to be too clean with it. I actually kind of like it when it's a little bit sketchy and all over the place sometimes. A little more color back. I'm going to bring back some blue as well to the bottom of some of these, just to add some contrast. Because I'm already here and I have the marker in my hand. Why not? Just a little bit. I'm almost going to make it look purple, I'm thinking. Maybe. That will be very nice. That's cute. I'm down with that. I am very good with that. Just a little bit of blue here and there. I think this pink ended up more vibrant than I expected, but we worked with it, so I think that turned out okay. So that's pretty good. I think that turned out pretty good. The only thing that I feel like I have to spend a couple more minutes, just a couple more. I have to. I must. I have to do white. Because it's kind of annoying me that I really want to do it, and I'm just going to do it. So if you guys want to spend a couple more minutes with me. Hi, Yvonne from Spain. Hello. I'm just going to use it straight from the bottle, in the sense that I've got a bottle of white ink. I'm already here, and I would like to finish this. So I'm going to take a very tiny brush. Looks so pretty. Thank you. Okay, here we go. I'm just taking a little bit of this white ink. It's acrylic ink, and I'm just going to paint in some of the spots where I would like there to be white again. Some of these little floaters, I'm going to put white on them. In fact, I may just do white dots just because those look good. We know that white dots look good. Why not? Okay. So now that I'm gaining kind of like I'm gauging, now I'm going to start adding it to the spots that I know should be raised and should be shiny. I can't help it. I love adding the white to these things. And sometimes it's a little more subtle, sometimes it's a little more obvious. So we're going to find out right now how obvious it'll be. So for this kind of, what did we call it again? We call it our cinnamon roll. You just kind of go over the middle, over the curve here. Just the very center of it like that. It's that spot where there would be just a little bit of shine. Just gives it a little bit of extra something. Just a little something. I don't know why it just bothers me if I don't do this. I don't know if any of you ever watched, I know, just a few more minutes. For many years, I would watch along with Maremi, with Marta, Maremi Smalls Art. Oh, I loved watching her. She would always finish everything off with, she still does, of course. Still finishes all of her creations with like splashes of white, anything, white ink, white paint, white something. So nice. So I've kind of grown to love that method. Adding some white at the end. Seems like it's kind of vanishing over here in this area, so I might want to try some gouache later in a later drawing, because it's kind of melting in there. But I'm going to try using it anyway. A little bit of white here and there. Yeah, it's much more subtle there. It is how it is. Little dots here and there. I think that's good enough. It helps just with that little thing that I wanted, just that little bit of little something. You know when something's missing in your own drawing. You're just thinking, what's next? For me, it was apparently just a few dots. I like it. I like it a lot more like that. Very good. I'm going to add just a couple kind of here and there. I think I'm okay with that. It's got just enough shadows. I think I could do more, but I think I'm going to leave it like that. Nice. Yeah, Deshi, it is. It's such a small detail, and it just like brings it all together. It makes it look so much more, like so much more is going on. I think I'm good with it. I think I'm happy. As always, I'm pretty sure I could spend 3 more hours on it if I wanted to, but I think I'm going to be a responsible artist today, and I'm going to let this little drawing exist just the way it is. Let it be. I think there could be more shadows, let's say here, right here. On your drawing, go ahead and spend another little bit. Add some shadows about here. Yeah. Do little things, add little dots, add little doodles. Yeah, the white, the jelly roll pens, is that what you're talking about? Yeah. The gel pens, those are good too. I had some, and yet for some reason, because they didn't always work for me, I ended up steering towards like the ink like this and towards like white gouache, because it's paint and it's acrylic, and for me that works better for me. But yeah, white gel pens work. I think the watercolors also come with a white tube, so that's always interesting to play around with that and see what you can make out of that. This pink is super vibrant. I like it so much. I'm going to flip this over so you guys can see what it's actually going to look like when I post it to Instagram, so that way you'll get a quick look upside down. There it is. So this is in the proper orientation in my book. It's going to look like that. So it changes so much about it, doesn't it? Changes like where the dark is. Now the corner's on the opposite side of the way the pink flows. It changes a lot. So that's really interesting. Yeah. Let's see what happens. All right, so I think that I'm pretty much done here. So this is it for today. Thank all of you guys for joining. It looks like there are over 60 people, so at least my screen is showing me 68 viewers at the moment. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be doing this every day. You can join me tomorrow, Monday the 19th of February at exactly the same time. I have a schedule posted. If you've joined me today, thank you so much. We're going to be drawing for about an hour, trying to get these finished using color, using markers, watercolors, whatever we've got, and just playing around. I'm thinking maybe tomorrow we'll go back to some steampunk designs. That'll be fun. We'll try out some more of those, a little bit of sepia and some browns and greens. So we're going to keep playing, so whenever you're able to join me, I'll be right here for the next 100 days, or most of the 100 days. Check out my schedule, and you can join me, and we'll play around and we'll have fun. Thank you so much, you guys. I'm going to go and try to wash some dishes and vacuum the living room. Got stuff to do. Bye, you guys.